So hi guys. So for today's video, I am going to discuss about carbohydrates. So we know that carbohydrates are very common. We can hear it in our science subject or in our surroundings. We can see it. But this time I am going to explain and elaborate what is carbohydrates, why it is important to our body, and why it is exist. Bear with me and watch this video until the end. And so first we need to define what is carbohydrates because that is our topic. So we need to learn and we need to understand what it is and what is the meaning of this word. So, carbohydrates are very effective yielding nutrients and very effective building materials. So, carbohydrates are among the most important classes of biochemicals. Carbohydrates are principal class of energy yielding nutrients that are in great abundance. The other two classes are fats and proteins. In addition, carbohydrates are important in society because they provide first, basic diet in a form of starch and sugar. Second, clothing and shelter. That is why it is very important. There are four types of carbohydrates. First is monosaccharides. Monosaccharides. It is the smallest unit of carbohydrates that cannot be hydrolyzed to a simple carbohydrates unit. It is the basic carbohydrate unit of cellular metabolism. So, example of monosaccharides is glucose, fructose, and galactose. So, monosaccharides, it is also called as simple sugar. So, monosaccharides are building blocks of disaccharides and polysaccharides. They are composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen and atoms, and they cannot be broken down further since they are already in their simplest. Carbohydrate is disaccharides. So what is disaccharides? It is yield two monosaccharides either the same or different with hydrolyzed. Disaccharides are often used by plants and animals to transport monosaccharides from one cell to another. So it is also called a double sugar. So the examples of disaccharides is sucrose, lactose, and maltose. Disaccharides are one of the four chemical grouping of carbohydrates, and any substances that compose of two molecules of simple sugar linked to each other. So the third types of carbohydrates is olesaccharides. Olesaccharides is a carbohydrates with at least two or more six saccharides unit linked together. Sorry for the inconvenience, but uh, it is a saccharides polymer containing a small number of monosaccharides. And all polysaccharides is have many functions, including number one, cell recognition, number two, cell binding. So cell recognition, all cells are created either glycoproteins or glycolipids, both of which help determine cells type. So the last type of carbohydrates is called polysaccharides. Let me define it. It is a macromolecular substance that can be hydrolyzed to yield many monosaccharides unit. it is important structural materials in plant and animals. So, monosaccharides are long chain of monosaccharides linked by glycosidic bonds. So, there are three importance of polysaccharide: starch, glycogen, and cellulose. Mm. And it is composed of glucose. So starch and glycogen serve as short-term energy stores in plants and animals respectively. So the glucose monomer are linked by the glycosidic bonds. And polysaccharides are also formed as product of bacteria, for example, in yogurt production. And polysaccharides are generally perform one or two functions: energy storage or structural support. Carbohydrates can also classified by the first, number of carbon atoms in a molecule; second, functional group present in a molecule; third, spatial orientations of molecule; and the last is optical activity of the molecules.